Hey, welcome to Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Tottenham. We had massive technical hitches on the day we played Newcastle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're bringing you like a recap of the 90 minutes Unplugged. This time it's not live, unfortunately. It is a recording, but it's okay. We still got the in-house guru, Chuma. He's joining me on the other side. In the meantime, come on you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs, indeed. Welcome back. This is Come on, you Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Tottenham. Today, we're going back to what happened on Sunday evening, Sunday night, wherever you might have watched that in the world. Chuma, how are you? Welcome back.
It's good to be back. Awesome. If we were naming this, since this is usually 90 minutes on Unplugged, we have to give this a title. It will be Angie's Army's Animated Victory over Toons. Animation cartoons. Anyway,
as in, if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, forget about it.
A bit of housekeeping for the channel. Thank you for joining Come On You Spurs TV for 90 minutes of Tottenham Newcastle match review. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you could subscribe. For those coming back, you know what to do. Smash the like button. Click on the notification bell for notification when we put out content. And as always, comment and share. And it's always Come On You Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs, indeed. Wow. Now, you know, that match sort of rekindled a lot of memories for us in terms of what we're expecting from Ange, in terms of, you know, how, if you look back and think, okay, we haven't really played differently from other matches, you know, in this match, but everything came off this time around, as opposed to in other matches when you had chances and you didn't put them away. This time around, we were clinical, everything was coming off. Bissouma beating two players in the middle of the park, didn't lose the ball, got free, you know, passed the ball around. Richarlison came in. I mean, so many positives to talk about in this match. So many good things to be happy about, and things that people actually had things to complain about in previous matches. The other thing also was that we had so many other things that, if you think about it, Dan just being criticized in quotes to say that he doesn't play. He only plays a certain way, you know, he doesn't change his tactics, you know. But we found him, you know, mixing things up, putting Son on the left, Richarlison in the middle, you know, Brian Johnson moving on, I mean, Kulusevski coming up to the middle, Brian Johnson switching sides, and all sorts of stuff that we were seeing in that match that we didn't see in the past. And it's just Ange ball evolving, you know, and I'm pretty sure that you had a fistful of stuff to talk about today, but hey, let's just take it one by one. Give me your overall thoughts on that match, Chuma. Come on.
I've watched the game like three or four times since the game finished. And each time you come up to something new, you see something else. And I think like you said, like you alluded to earlier, it was in fact, let me go back. There's a gentleman I keep referring to on this channel, Chelsea fan who's on TalkSport and he has a podcast with two other fans of Man United and City. With Ladapo and asked him for his prediction, and he said, what better way for Newcastle to end their winless streak, but coming to Spurs have lost 4 of the last 5, blah, 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 and just kept on. And I keep saying, every time that young man comes on and says something about Tottenham, we end up winning. So it was in the bag the minute Rory said, oh, Newcastle come, and he didn't even say like a 2-1. It was like 3-0.
Yeah, I saw that. He said 3-0, and I couldn't help laughing. Yeah, I couldn't help but laugh.
I was like, dude, are you serious? And I said, as soon as he said that, I said, the reverse happened. He's been taking L's for a long time. I like Rory. I get the whole thing as well. Like, he knows his football, but his predictions, man, have been a problem. Anyway, he did that, and then we get to the game. I went to the game on Thursday to watch Tottenham West Ham. Brilliant first half. But the problem was we weren't connecting. The front three weren't connecting the way they should. Brennan Johnson will be waiting for a cross from. He'll be waiting for a cross from Kulu. Kulu wouldn't cross. Brennan Johnson wouldn't cross. So many times they were trying to walk the ball in. We were industrious, created chances, but there were more half chances than full chances. And nobody just wanted to take the responsibility to shoot. But in this game, Iron just fixed everything that was wrong in the West Ham game in one other game. When we saw Richarlison line up in the lineup, everybody assumed Richarlison would play left, Son striker, and Brennan Johnson on the right. But he flipped that around and put Son on the left and Richarlison as striker, which allowed Son to be more creative and allowed him one-on-one against Kieran Trippier. And as you saw, he did the business on Trippier twice, two, three times, but twice resulting in goals. He had a certain kind of freedom, Son, and then Richarlison as well. You know, he's talking about how free he is playing now since he's had the groin surgery. He couldn't really shoot or cross properly while he was playing, but he kept persevering. But now he's free to shoot. There are certain moves where you see him get the ball, he'll dribble past two, three players and involve himself. It was William Brennan Johnson hit the post twice in the same game. Kulusevski, which I was so happy someone on the Nigerian Spurs group said, Chuma's been shouting for Kulusevski to play this 10-10-10, that he can play this 8-10 hybrid, let him play it. And Kulusevski did it well. Not in the same way as Madison, not in the same way as Celso, but in the way he does, and he allowed him and Son actually control the game from the middle. And then the return of Pape Matar. What a brilliant return. Because that young man, I think, everyone said it was Madison, but I think he's the reason Bissouma feels comfortable. And you could see a change in Bissouma once he had him next to him. It was a brilliant game.
I can't even begin to say how brilliant that game was. I mean, if you look back, I think, my goodness, I mean, it's so many things, you know. Let's even talk about the chances. I saw that match and I said to myself, I mean, a four-line scoreline didn't do us justice, right? Even at a 10-1 scoreline at the end of that game would not have been too far-fetched because of the number of chances and opportunities that we were created. Half chances, full chances, you know, things that will, you know, things. Just praying that, gosh, I wish Richarlison would score a hat-trick in this match, because it's one of the chances he missed was like, oh my goodness, you know. And even the second goal, right, it was not that great a touch, but I think, I mean, in the end, it worked out to be a great touch, because that was the only way he would have scored that goal, you know, because if you had gotten it right the first time, the defender would have caught up with him, you know. So him putting the ball away, I mean, a bit of missing the ball, if you like, you know, took it away to his left hand. He'd been under so much negative press, and people were sort of having all sorts of goals at him, and him coming up with his confidence, you know. So many positives to report in that match. Mr. Son, please, can we just sort of talk about Mr. Son for a minute? Because I know that on several forums, you know, on sports channels, people were saying how the Son is losing it. He's lost his marbles, and I'm thinking to myself, this is not the same Son that we always extol his virtues, his leadership skills, his tenacity, his willingness to run for the team, and his drive, you know. But he totally roasted Mr. Trippier. I mean, one of our own, but hey, one of our own, if you like, you know. And he just sort of made a meal of him on that day. I felt a little bit sorry for Trippier, but hey, I was happy that everything came off on that day. I mean, all of the pullbacks came off, you know, for Udogie for the first goal, for Richarlison for the second goal. All of Son's effort on that left wing, it was absolutely phenomenal. What do you think?
I think lots of people are quick to jump on Son's back. I saw a guy called into the same talk spot saying that he's rubbish last year, it was trash. You know, this year he's done something, but he's not done enough. And I was like, this guy he's scoring ratio right now puts him at, he's going to be a 20 league goal by the end of the season. He's the third highest goal scorer behind Haaland and Salah at the moment. You know, in the league. And you're looking at this guy who's not really playing striker. He's shifted out to the wings, comes forward. He does everything that is required. You know, like what they say, there's a thing in America. Ball don't lie. The ball doesn't lie. Look at his goal. Look at his assists. You know, I think he's the first person to 50 goals, 50 assists, or something in terms of the quickest 50 goals, 50 assists.
I wrote down so many notes on. I wrote down so many notes. Sorry to interrupt you, Chuma.
Yeah, go ahead.
So many notes on the match and quips and stuff like that. I thought to myself, I mean, one of the things I felt was that they had the midfield. It totally prevented turnovers against us throughout the whole match. They couldn't get out of their half. There's one point in the match when we had them like hemmed in totally. I had Son roasting Trippier. I had Richarlison Renaissance. I also had having Richarlison score a double is phenomenal, and Porro just for me.
Porro is a genius. Like Porro and Doggy, we're actually playing at two number 10 in my opinion.
Honestly,
they're actually the tens, and because if you saw the goal that came, Doggy's goal, Doggy actually got the ball on the edge of the D, spun around and passed it left and ran in as a striker.
Exactly.
It was brilliant.
It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Then Porro just kept on. Porro to me, I told you from the get-go when it was Porro Emerson talk, I told you this guy is hands down better than Emerson.
Oh,
I don't know if he will adapt as well.
There's no doubt whatsoever he is miles ahead. I mean, the pass he gave to Richarlison for that second. Come on. I mean, what about that?
That looks like a goal shot. It gave him to spin off, and you thought it was a goal shot.
Absolutely.
That's a nice shot. And at first I thought Richarlison had messed it up.
Yeah.
By not controlling it. But even the miscontrol played into his favor.
Absolutely.
Dubravka came out and just side-footed it in. But it was just the pass, and then Porro had another way he not make someone and took a shot that and Kulusevski created for Brennan Johnson. Brennan hit inside of that post in that second half.
Honestly, I mean, and there was with the chance created for honestly.
6 or 7
and there was a point when a pass came to Skip and he was opening on goal, and he just kind of, it was a little bit too slow to respond in that situation. He didn't have, that was absolutely fantastic. I think Son reaching double figures in goals already. I mean, in the season is like absolutely unbelievable. I think, okay, putting on. If you look at all of the matches we played so far this season, right? Apart from the match against Wolves, right?
Wolves.
I don't think we have deserved to lose any game this season, right? For me, it's just been that consistency in performance. If you look at the performance from the beginning of the season up to now, the levels have been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, there's no time the levels have dropped. If anything at all, the levels keep improving from game to game. We had a bit of a drop off when we played maybe Fulham or maybe Wolves, but a lot of all the matches we played this season have been really, really, really impressive. And I think Ange is building something in his own DNA that we will have a template. Like I was saying to someone that, look, when we build that template, we will win more matches than we will lose them. And it's going to create absolute fear in opponents' hearts whenever they come off to face us. They will be dreading facing us, and that's a good thing. I mean, I know you have all sorts of people saying, yeah, I mean, Rory, when he was trying to predict his match on Talk Sports, he said, yeah, Vicario will probably pay 10 on the halfway line, and he will have everybody playing off on the high line from the halfway line. That's sort of having a dig at Ange's tactics. But the truth of the matter is that those tactics actually work. Why? Because they've mastered it. They've almost mastered it now. Look at. No one's saying how Emery plays a high line. You know, Emery plays a high line all the time, and look where it got them. The Villa team now have
because they get by man. They get a lot more sound bites. And you and I both know this wonderful Nigerian word, Babele.
Yeah.
People like Rory, Chelsea guys, Manchester United fans, the ones that are complaining or dissing, and it's because they're looking at their clubs and they're seeing that, look, they don't have this style. They don't have any kind of thing, any pattern that they can identify with. And it's all about identity. Spurs players have found an identity that they're trying to forge into their own. They're trying to let the whole thing permeate every part of their being. You heard Ben Davies, who, by the way, one of the first things like a huge clap for Daddy Davies, because had Newcastle scored first and they had a chance with Gordon crossing to Isaac, that toe poke into Isaac's shin was absolutely classic. It was a master class in how to defend. And David said that, look, we try very hard to stick to these guys staying because it's the only way we have, it's the only way we're going. You could hear from his comments at the end of the game that he's fully wedded into what this guy wants to do. And the fact he's playing left centre back and he really doesn't fancy himself there, but he's willing to give his all for that. It tells you everything about what Ange is doing. And everyone thinks it's so simple. It's so easy to do it. Come and do it. Do the same thing. Like we're watching other teams like they're winning games, but they're not playing well. But he's playing well and winning. Even though we didn't win the last couple of games. Yes, raise your hands up. When we win comfortably. And the thing is, we're always going to concede because the style of football is very attacking. Everyone says that, Spurs, they'll take one. Yeah, we'll take one. But we'll try and score 4 or 5, which is a crazy thing to say, but we're good for 4 or 5 goals virtually every other game. Apart from against, let's say, maybe the really big boys.
Even the really big boys get, well, I mean, when we played City, I mean, it was 3-3, wasn't it? I mean...
Exactly. Everybody gets touched. But it's a narrative that is very interesting. We played Luton earlier on in the season. That's actually, I think, the beginning of part of our problem. The red card to Bissouma. That was the beginning of our issues. And we played Luton off the park without scoring the goals, and then we held on for 1-0. A lot of people criticized us. Now we've seen all the big boys go to Luton, and we're seeing how Luton has served them. Even though they come out with wins, it's like they come out with a hard-fought win. And now all of a sudden, Luton are gritty. I'm like, when they gritty when they played Spurs?
And Spurs 10 men for that matter, eh?
Spurs now, 10 men as well.
Exactly. So
with Chelsea, we played 9 men. So what looks at those things?
Everyone. Okay, so you find that people always find reasons to either moan, complain, or find some sort of negativity somewhere, right? Now, we don't do negativity on this channel for me, unfortunately, but hey, well, people welcome alternative views, points of view, of course. You're gonna have those who say that we lack a depth in squad, and because we lack a depth in squad, it's affecting our performances. There's a drop in ability to convert chances and all of that. But I've kind of sort of done a bit of a, maybe what you want to call it, mental analysis, or if you want to call it that, right? And looking back at all the games we played so far this season, right? Now, of course, we considered goals. Now, were those goals as a result of incompetence of the deputizers, or if you like, or a brilliance of the team that you played against, or what you might call from our perspective, or a mix of luck and good fortune favoring the other side? And overall, I mean, my perception is this, right? Even with that depleted squad in quotes, right, the levels of our play hasn't actually gone down. If anything at all, we're actually attacking more. We're actually trying to score more goals, And the areas where we lack what you might call the cutting edge was in the front line, if you like, whereby the front three. And if anything at all, we haven't really lost anybody apart from Richarlison in that front three. And even before we lost him, he wasn't like really performing or cooking on all cylinders per se. But he had that presence that was obviously disruptive to the opponents and obviously creating chaos and opening up opportunities for others to cash in on. Now, of course, we're going to get stuff to say people, oh, we are in that position of losing so many players because, and we don't have the adequate replacements, if you like, because we didn't invest in certain areas on the pitch, But when I think back about it, so apart from the areas of centre back, I actually think that we have a decent depth in the squad the way it is now. Because if you think about it, right? So, I mean, how many teams can survive having lost 11 players, even if you had depth in your squad? You see what I'm saying? You're only allowed to register 25 players anyway. So where's that going to come from? It doesn't go beyond your initial squad anyway. So that's first point. Okay, so ideally we needed maybe a couple more centre backs. Apart from that, what other areas do you think we need support in? I mean, we have striking position, we have Richarlison. Okay, maybe some cutting sometimes, but apart from those two, no one else in the team can actually play in those striking roles. You got Kulusevski, who's adaptable, is coming to the Maddison role when required to do that. And I mean, of course, Ange switches it around. He plays for himself sometimes in midfield. He plays Sarr, he plays Højbjerg, depending on what, but he keeps making those changes dependent on the match we're playing, the opponent, or whatever tactics he wants to deploy on the day. Now, the question is this, right? Do we really lack that much of a depth in the squad? And I know this is going to create a lot of controversy. I would love to hear your comments, guys, wherever you're watching this. What you think? Do we really lack a depth in the squad, or is that just a myth or a convenient stick to beat than a livy with, which is almost like a traditional thing that Spurs fans tend to do? What do you think?
No. Well, for me, to answer your question, even starting from the beginning, the goals we've conceded, a lot of it have to do with unforced errors. Players trying to take to the system and they just made a mistake. Dougie's back pass in the game against West. Like the game against West Ham is just symptomatic of all the issues we've been having playing Ange ball, where certain players either forget or they are just a bit lackadaisical when they try to attempt certain things. And in that game, there was no way we should have considered those two goals. They were very comical goals. But these things happen in a teething process. It's like a baby step process, But in terms of depth, my issue actually has been more with the reason we're not putting teams away is because our wide players aren't Ange wide players. They are not prototype Ange wide players. And what I mean by that is Ange always has two very good 1v1 wingers. And that's what the game is about. Like, there was this whole thing, like, if you watch all these videos about Ange, you watch all these videos about Pep, Klopp, all these things. One of the things that was a huge point about playing lead to goals. Arsenal did it last year. Man City did it as well. Liverpool did. All these teams that we look at and admire and say, well, hey, they are playing really well. They are in this. Fingers got to the side. They created space on one end, transferred the ball quickly, and crossed it in, and someone just moved it in. These guys had a high percentage. And if you look at Spurs, and who did he have? He had Son on the left at the start, Kulusevski on the right, Maddison through the middle. Maddison's job was to thread balls through to these wingers or to the striker himself, recycle the ball. Then all Perisic and Manu Solomon. And those of you who watched from preseason saw that, look, Manu Solomon is a nifty little player. And Perisic as well finally looked at home playing in his traditional left wing position, coming off the bench, providing more impetus as a winger. Now imagine this now, when all these things went down, you moved Son to striker. Imagine having a man or Solomon or Perisic working alongside the Kulusevski. Everyone knows Kulusevski likes to come central and create. So he's never going to cross with his right. But the person on the other side, the 1v1 guy, gets to that byline and pulls it back. You saw what happened with Richarlison in this last game. Two cutbacks, and we had to go from Doggy and Richarlison. Imagine having that same thing. And that was my problem, was we had depth, but the depth got injured. Centre-back is the only one where I would say, yes, we are really lacking. It would have better buying 2 centre-backs. But what if the 2 centre-backs have gotten injured, would still be back in the same position? So as much as people can say we didn't have depth, I think we had depth. Depth got injured up front. Centre-back-wise, yeah, that's the only place I would say Daniel Levy and the recruitment staff got that wrong. They should have got 2 centre-backs. And I was pushing for them to get 2 centre-backs. I believe they were trying for 2 centre-backs. But for whatever reason, as we know, things happen. I just won't get into that topic. But yeah, in terms of like white players, I thought you got spot on. Perisic and Solomon were brilliant. Only for 2 of them injured till next year. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? You know, you're seeing Brian Hill coming in. Brian Hill and Brennan Johnson were never meant to feature as such. But now look at it. Brian Hill actually came on and I thought he put himself out a bit more in his little cameo. But Brennan Johnson is really trying. He's not a 1v1 winger. But Brennan Johnson has something about him. If you play decent ball, not greatest ball, but decent ball, giving you a chance.
He's had 2 great opportunities to score in the last 2 matches, and it hasn't come off for him. But you just know that over time, he keeps getting those positions and keeps taking those chances. Attempting those chances, they will soon come off, you know. And but Destiny Udogie, that young man, for me, is going to be a Spurs legend. You know, he's just agreed a new contract. Apparently, and that's what the reports say. I haven't had any official confirmation of that just yet, but I mean, it's well deserved, isn't it? I mean, he's only just, 20, 21, you know, and he's already established himself in that left back role. You know, he's had, even despite the fact that he picked up a couple of yellow cards and got sent off against Chelsea, he had a mistake against continues to perform at such a very, very high level. He's got an amazing goal. I mean, coming in from number 10 and doing that inverted role with Poro on the other right-hand side, like you mentioned earlier on, you know, and he sort of does that so well. That guy, I'm just so happy. I mean, it's a shame he doesn't play for Nigeria.
that would have been icing on the cake. Yes. But if we could utilize it, you're right. Destiny Udogie came in as a wing back. He was bought, you know, I put a saying, you know, thank you to Fabio Paratici for Kulusevski, Udogie, Romero,
Bentancur,
Bentancur as well, you know, part of the core. And I look at it, and he came in as a left wing back. The question everyone asked was, well, and uses fullbacks as midfielders. We don't know if Udogie and Poro would fit in, because they're wing backs, they bought for Antonio Conte's system. But if you watch those 2 guys and the way they adapt themselves, different ways of playing inverted. Because Udogie wants to get into that action and score. Poro wants to create. In fact, I found Poro also very interesting because in the game, because he knew how narrow Kulusevski would play if he was playing right wing, and Brennan Johnson wasn't a better crosser. You found Poro actually going around the side of Brennan Johnson and putting in crosses as well, and then trying to cross from deep or create, which led to the goal for Richarlison. But Udogie just drives the ball. There's a way he took the ball and he ran, and they had to foul him before he went past the halfway line. If not, it would have just been a all-out attack. Our attackers were streaming forward. Destiny Udogie physically is a specimen. He's about 6'2". Most people don't realize because they see him on screen. He's about 6'1", 6'2". If he takes the ball on a run, you have to bring him down because there's no way you're getting that ball off him. And left side. And the thing is, he set such high standards that he's in 9 out of 10 guy. When he gives us 7, we feel disappointed. Why did he dog in the game? If you watch the game again, you're like, oh, he did this, he did that. Because he's setting such high standards. And, for me, he was a revelation. But I have to say this. And Pap Matissa, is an absolute revelation for Ange, because that young man, there's a particular clip around. I don't know if you've seen it where
before you go on about Pap Matissa, right? There's this Nigerian expression. I don't know if people who know this, but this is when someone can play real football, it says he can tap. The guy can tap.
The guy covers. It's like I always remember this. Like I said, and there's a move where Houston Rockets, whoever go on YouTube and find this out, there's a player for Portland Trail Blazers, and he steals the ball. Hakim puts it past that he steals, and the guy is literally laying it up to the basket. Hakim comes from nowhere and just swipes it from his hand. And it's the stride length. And I watched yesterday, on Sunday, I watched Pap Matissa hunt down a Newcastle player. He hunted the guy and collected the ball. He didn't tackle, he just collected the ball from the guy. Turned around, beat the guy, and took it the other way. I was like, my God, it's like a gazelle.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely
fantastic.
And there's an energy, and there was a chance he had to score as well.
Yes, that ball he pulled back and he just side-footed it wide.
And just building up in him is.
And that's the same move we had. So that's the same move we had to score against Man U when he scored against Man U.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If he adds scoring to his repertoire, this young man will become one of the best box-to-box midfielders. Mark my words, he will become one of the best box-to-box midfielders in Europe, if not the world.
Absolutely, I have no doubt whatsoever. Plenty of positives to take from that match. Plenty of positives to take from Ange's tactics, and also the fact that you hear all sorts of stuff when it comes to things like this. You get people saying that Newcastle were tired and they got a depleted squad, and I'm thinking to myself, excuse me, what's going on here? Am I missing something? Did we not play the same number of games? What are we talking about? Okay, they played the Champions League match when? It's not. Come on, please. 2 matches a week is not too much for a footballer, And I think that was. I guess I have all this. I'm not taking this victim mentality or approach here, but you have people always especially in the media, who have this, I think, agenda against Spurs, and I stand to be corrected. I'll not hear your views on this, but anytime you have people playing against us, they're making excuses for them, and we're in the same position. You don't get the same thing. Someone said, "Oh, Romero's tackle was a leg breaker." In the same match, you had I can't remember the Brazilian guy's name. Is it Jolinton or one of them? Yes.
Yeah.
Almost, finished Porro, and they didn't say a word. None of the commentators said anything. I was waiting for. Someone said that he was waiting for Gary Neville to acknowledge the fact that Spurs were playing well. He did through gritted teeth. It's amazing. Well, coming up, next match will be on Friday against Forest away. With this form, you think, okay, what do you think? Is this a turnaround, or is this just some sort of up and down on the way? Because if you think about it, we've actually played better away than we played at home this season. So what do you think? I know we're gonna do a preview of that match later on at some point, but come on. Forest are under pressure, obviously. The manager's under pressure. They've had quite a few losses lately, and we'll obviously be going there with a lot of confidence coming from having won this match, and the fact that we've actually been playing well. We hadn't just been converting our chances, and if we converted those chances, again, football is on both, and it's always about fine margins, but once we can convert more of those fine margins in our favor, I think we're on to right, just for and to get the right formula and for the players to sort of continue to improve, and hopefully we can get a better outcome for more of those matches over the course of the season. We come up to this coming thick and fast, thick and fast. On paper, we have what I call winnable games, if you like, but that never happens in reality in football. Paper and reality are way different. Arsenal went to Luton and they almost got smashed. They almost literally got smashed, and it was a bit of good fortune on their part and their favor, if you like. And then you had, of course, had a bit of added time, which gave them the opportunity to score that extra, the last goal to win it. But they could have come a cropper there, and so I haven't really seen them play an absolute blinder of football this season. But again, people tell you that teams, when they don't play too well and come up with winning matches, that's what champions are made of, isn't it? Right? So hey, but we'll see how that all of that plans out over the course of the season. Let's take some final words from you on this one. I mean, I know I know I have a few to sort of to look back on. Go on, you go first.
Yeah, well, this was supposed to be. This period was supposed to be the storm, and we weathered the storm. We came out with one win out of like five, one draw out of like last five. Now looking at that on paper, you think, wow, that's a horrible thing. That's relegation form. But I always say, watch the games. Are you in those games or are you out of those games? And I have to say, barring the Wolves game, I think we were in every game. We applied ourselves very well. We were not clinical enough. And this Newcastle game, everything came to the fore. We were clinical, we were effective, and we were dominant. And I think the storm has ended. Like you said, winnable fixtures, or at least fixtures where we have a decent chance going in. And we're not hamstrung by having to play four fullbacks. Three games ago, we played four fullbacks in our back four. We didn't have much of a midfield, and here we are now. Players are coming back slowly and surely. Confidence has really built itself. So I'm looking forward to the Forest game. Pretty much more the same. Like I said, we've been saying it for a while that there's going to be a team that we're going to absolutely demolish somebody this season. And we're going to absolutely destroy someone. We don't know when that is. The Newcastle game looked like it to a point. I felt we should have avenged 6-1. We almost did. But let's see what happens coming. We have something in us that can really destroy a team. I don't know when that will happen, but it's going to happen where we'll be like, wow, this is unbelievable. But yeah. Onto the Tottenham Forest game, looking for nothing short of 3 points, and the players are quit themselves very well and do everything that they need to do professionally, probably in the first half.
Indeed. I mean, like I said earlier on, my 3 major takeaways were amazing Son, Richarlison Renaissance, and Ange Ball. We love you, Ange. Ange is super fantastic. I mean, I'm loving Big Ange instead. You got Ange Revolution there. Oh, good. Yeah, the revolution is well and truly in gear. And thank you very much for joining us, guys. We shall see you on the preview, and of course, we'll see you post-match on the post-match live stream. Hopefully, we have all the technical issues sorted out. And again, apologies to all of our listeners who tried to tune in for the post-match live stream last week, but unfortunately we couldn't get up because of technical issues. Thank you for your support, and we appreciate you. See you soon. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.